Today, I'm gonna walk you through 5 super common exercises I'd be very careful with after 35. I'm Dominic Wenner, founder of Alpha 21, 15 years of coaching men over 35, hundreds of clients through the door, and I see the same wreckage every single week. So let's get into it. Exercise number 1, long distance running on hard surfaces or pavement. If you're over 35, carrying weight, sleeping badly, stressed out, already sore and trying to lose belly fat, smashing your knees into concrete 4 times a week might not be the genius health plan that you really think it is. What you have to think about is this. Every step has a cost. Your knees feel it, your hips feel it, your ankles feel it, and your lower back feels it. If you weigh 100 kilos, every time your foot hits the ground while running, you're landing with 2.5 times your body weight in force. That's the physics of running. So let's do the maths. 100 kilos times 2.5. That's 250 kilos of force through your knee, ankle, and hip, and your lower back on every single step. Run for 30 minutes at a normal cadence, and you'll take around maybe 5,000 steps. 4 runs a week, that's 20,000 steps, each one driving 1/4 ton through your joints. That's 5,000 tons of cumulative impact going through your knees, hips, lower back, ankles every single week. That's the weight of a small ship going through those joints, which, let's face it, after 35, simply don't bounce back the way that they did 10, 15, or 20 years ago. So what do you do instead? You don't have to stop cardio. In fact, I'd say it's essential that you absolutely don't. You don't even have to stop running entirely, but you just need to be smarter with the duration and the intensities. If you're carrying extra weight, think about walking fast on an incline like this, cycling, rowing, swimming, low impact movements, doing zone 2 work predominantly while you're losing that weight. That's the level that most men over 35 need more of because it builds the engine without smashing the body into the ground. If you love running, then fine, keep it easy. Use softer surfaces, cap the volume. Don't turn every Sunday morning into a test of your manhood. The goal after 35 is not to prove that you can suffer. The goal is to build a body that can actually recover and perform optimally. Here's my recommended framework for cardio. Zone 2 cardio, 2 to 3 hours per week, low impact at a conversational pace. Make this part of your morning routine. Then add in low impact VO2 max training where you're testing your heart rate. 15 to 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times per week. Cycle sprints, rower sprints, 30 seconds on, 60 seconds off at a recovery pace. Exercise number 2, heavy overhead pressing. This one is a tough pill to swallow because most men love to do these movements. Standing barbell press, seated dumbbell press, military press, it all feels strong, it feels manly, and it's the most classic shoulder movement of all of them in here. I can't tell you how many guys have come to me with shoulder injuries caused by pressing overhead in this position. The reason this happens to so many men over 35 isn't because they've got weaker, it's because they've spent 15 or 20 years sitting at a desk, hunched over at their laptop, driving, scrolling on their phone. Their thoracic spine has rounded forward, their shoulders have rolled in, and their lats are super, super tight. That posture makes true overhead pressing almost impossible to do safely without months of mobility work first. And here's the most ironic part of the whole thing. Most men aren't even building the shoulders that they think they're building by doing overhead pressing movements. When you press with bad mobility, particularly with overhead pressing movements, the front delt and the traps take over while the side delts and the rear delts do almost nothing. So what this essentially means is you're working hard, hurting yourself, and not even hitting the muscles that actually add that broad capped look. So what do you do instead? Well, first, test your mobility honestly. Stand with your back against a wall, feet around 6 inches away from the wall, lower back compressed by squeezing these abs so you have alignment in the spine. Then what I want you to do is try and raise your arms as high as you can without this lower back coming away from the wall. When you start to feel like your movement is limited, that is the range of movement that you can press. And the truth is, most people are going to be pressing at a movement and a range of movement around about this. You need to make sure that when doing that, your ribs are not flaring up, your lower back is not coming off the wall, and your head, ideally, is touching the back here too. If you can't do that cleanly, you don't have the range to be pressing heavy overhead. If that's you, swap the overhead barbell movements for landmine presses, or single arm dumbbell presses at an incline that matches your mobility range. Exercise number 3, heavy ego back squats or deadlifts with a bar like this. I get it, heavy squats and deadlifts feel serious, they feel masculine, they feel like real training. But after 35, the question is not, can I survive this workout? The question is, can I recover from this, repeat it, and still be better in 6 months? If the answer is no, change the exercise or simply manage the weight you're lifting without letting the ego take over. You can still train legs hard using goblet squats, split squats, leg press, step ups, trap bar deadlifts done properly, making sure you're controlling the tempo, even single leg work, machines, these kind of things. None of these are easy, far from it. Done properly, they are brutal. They give you more useful strength with less joint cost. The truth is you can build serious legs without putting a heavy barbell on your back every single week. Stop worshipping specific exercises and realize there's more than one way to skin a cat, and some ways are far more efficient than others. Exercise number 4, ab crunches. This one is everywhere. Most men grew up thinking the way to get abs was to do more and more and more crunches. Burn the belly fat, flatten the gut, feel the burn, do 100 ab crunches and somehow the belly will disappear. Well, sadly that's nonsense. If crunches burned belly fat, every man in your gym would have abs. Listen, your core is not just there to bend your spine. A huge part of its job is to stop unwanted movement of the spine, to brace, to stabilize, to protect your spine when you lift, carry, twist, walk, climb, and move through real life patterns. So if you want a core that actually helps you after 35, you need to train it in those movements. Things like planks, side planks, dead bugs, bird dogs, pal-off presses, farmer's carries, suitcase carries. These don't look quite as exciting as a sweaty ab circuit, but that really doesn't matter. They work. They teach your body to stabilize the spine. They protect your back and they build the kind of core strength that actually carries over into your life and into your training. So if your back is already stiff, your hips are already tight and your belly fat isn't moving, stop doing crunches like it's 1998. Here's something almost no one talks about. A strong core isn't just about the muscles that you can see, it's also about how you breathe. Most men are breathing into their chest, shoulders creeping up, ribs flared. That's actually destroying the effectiveness of every core exercise that you do. Real core strength starts with the diaphragm. When you breathe properly, your diaphragm drops, your ribs expand sideways into your back, and the pressure inside your abdomen raises. That pressure is what actually braces your spine. Your six-pack is just the front wall of a pressurized cylinder. If the cylinder doesn't pressurize, the wall doesn't matter. So here's how to use this. Before any planking, dead bug movements, pal-off presses, or carry, take a breath in through your nose, down into your belly and lower back, feeling your waist expand in all directions. Then exhale through pursed lips while keeping the tension locked in. You're not holding your breath, you're breathing against the resistance. On planks and side planks, breathe slow and deliberate, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Each exhale reinforcing the brace within the core. On pal-off press movements and movements similar, exhale as you press out, ribs stacked over hips so the force goes through a stable spine, not a twisting one. Exercise number 5, high impact HIIT training. These workouts feel productive because they absolutely destroy you. Your heart rate spikes, you sweat like a madman, your watch gives you big numbers, and you walk out thinking that that was a great workout. Maybe. Or maybe you just confused exhaustion with progress. This is a huge problem for men over 35 because a lot of them use HIIT as punishment. Ate badly at the weekend, punish yourself. Belly fat not moving, punish yourself. Feel guilty about that Friday night, punish yourself. That's not a smart strategy. The biggest problem is that it steals energy from the thing that matters most after 35, which is your strength training. Muscle is the one thing you cannot afford to lose as a man over 35. Once muscle starts dropping, everything gets harder. Fat loss gets harder, blood sugar control gets harder, training gets harder, your body starts looking softer, and you feel weaker and you feel older. The better option is boring, but it works. Strength training 2 to 4 times a week. Building muscle, use controlled movements. Train hard, but not stupid. Then add low impact cardio to build your engine. Things like walking, cycling, rowing, zone 2, swimming, stuff like that. You can do a small amount of intervals if you recover well, things like we've already mentioned, but make sure they are low impact. Again, the bike, things like rower, air bike, that kind of exercise. That combination beats random punishment workouts for most men over 35 because the goal is not to win the workout, the goal is to build a body that gets better over time and ages flawlessly. Now listen, here's the part I really want you to understand. None of these exercises are bad in themselves. Running, squatting, deadlifting, sit-ups, functional movement patterns, and plyometric work. These are all fundamental movements for the human body. The problem is context. The right exercise for a well-recovered 25-year-old can be the wrong exercise for a stressed, inflamed, under-recovered 43-year-old with poor sleep, low energy, belly fat, tight hips, and joint pain. And that's what most generic fitness advice misses. It gives every man the same answer: train harder, eat less, do more cardio, push through, more discipline. For a lot of men over 35, that advice doesn't fix the problem, it makes the problem worse. Here's the rule. After 35, stop asking what workout burns the most calories and start asking, what can I actually recover from, repeat, and improve from? Train to build and develop, not to punish. Train to move better, not just to sweat more. Train to protect muscle, not destroy your joints. Train for the man you want to be in 10 years, not for the ego you're trying to protect today. If you found this video helpful, educational, or entertaining, please hit subscribe for more videos like this as I share videos every single week on optimizing men's health. And I'll see you in the next one.